find out if you're a boy or a girl and see which of our favorite names is suited perfectly to you.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sayre. Happy birthday to you.
Blow it out, mommy.